Rachel Ziegler is the prime example of how you should never think that you're bigger than the project.
A lot of what you see with Ziegler is really just a pretty common Gen Z mentality.
The only excuse I can make for her is that she's young, she's immature, she doesn't know any better.
You took on the role, and that job comes with certain basic responsibilities. And one of the most basic is the responsibility to control yourself and comport yourself a certain way publicly so that you don't harm the project, thereby harm all the hundreds of other people who are working with it.
She thinks the worst is behind her. The footage is already out. The lawsuits are already flying. Her legal team is working overtime to scrub every trace of the scandal from the internet.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
But now, Joe Rogan enters the chat. Because just days after the now infamous audio clip of Rachel Ziegler's backstage Evita outburst starts circulating in private theater groups and fan forums, it hits an even bigger stage, the Joe Rogan experience. And the moment Joe presses play, everything shifts. This isn't a throwaway comment. It's not a headline he schemes. This is a full-blown on-air reaction, raw, unscripted, and instantly viral.
And you don't really hate? No, I don't hate it.
The leaked audio is already explosive on its own. Allegedly captured during a tense rehearsal break, it features what sounds like Rachel Ziegler losing it backstage, raising her voice, venting about cast members and directors, and making the kind of comments that spark full-scale online meltdowns. The quality is shaky. The clip is short, but the tone, it's crystal clear, frustration, tension, maybe even rage. And now, Joe Rogan is all over it.
Richal, what's it like to be in a movie with Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu?
It's fucking great. Okay? It's fucking great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored. Am I a psychopath? No, I've been getting a lot of questions about like, how do I feel? I feel amazing. We start kind of soon and I'm just like...
In a segment that's already getting clipped to pieces across TikTok, Rogan plays the audio mid-podcast. His reaction is immediate. He leans in, he pauses, and then, true to form, he lets loose, calling out the drama, the behavior, and the industry chaos behind it all. Within hours, the internet catches fire. Split-screen edits, reaction threads, meme compilations, YouTube shorts titled Joe Rogan Destroys Ziegler rack up hundreds of thousands of views overnight. Influencer commentary kicks in, and what was once a theater world controversy becomes a front-page cultural flame war. Because when Joe Rogan weighs in, people pay attention. And this time, his words hit harder than any lawsuit.
I've never heard of her before. I don't know if this is her first project or if she's done movies like this before or anything that has anything to do with acting. Now she's mad because they done fired her from upcoming projects, but you're not a team player. Why would somebody want to hire you when you don't know how to play your part? Like, you didn't know how to play your part in the movie and in the real world. Let this be a lesson. Let this be a lesson, Rachel Ziegler, and to anybody else who think that they are bigger than the project.
So now the questions change. What exactly is in that audio that sets Rogan off? Why does his take land harder than anything that's come before? And how does one 34-second recording end up flipping the entire Rachel Ziegler narrative on its head? Let's rewind the chaos, starting from the moment the audio leaks to the exact second Rogan hits play. Because this isn't just a podcast segment. This is the viral explosion that takes the scandal to a whole new level.
The negative effects of this.
This is an explosive area of conversation.
Whoa. I didn't expect that. He's looking at me silently. I will respectfully move on.
Thank you.
The audio is only 34 seconds long, but it doesn't need to be longer. It starts in the middle of what sounds like a chaotic moment. Voices in the background, scattered footsteps, maybe even the creak of a stage floor. And then, clear as day, a sharp, emotional voice cuts through the noise. It's Rachel Ziegler.
It's the most emotional experience that a person can go through to know that what they're working on is something that has reached a generation of people. You know, now I'm a part of that legacy to some degree, and it's not something I take lightly, and it's just the most emotional experience to see.
Her tone is tense, not crying, not screaming, but agitated, clipped, full of frustration. You hear her say something like, "I'm not doing this again," followed by what insiders claim is a direct reference to the director. Then a pause, then the moment everyone's talking about. She raises her voice.
And I'm there 24/7. I can't get out of it. And I don't know if that will make sense, but that's where I'm at. I'm so grateful for the things that I'm able to do. And a lot of what I'm able to do is because of you guys. And I'm so unbelievably thankful for that.
It's not just the volume, it's the intensity. The kind of emotional spike that tells you this isn't just about a bad rehearsal or forgotten lines. This is personal. And allegedly, the target of her outburst is the production staff, possibly even the director himself. She reportedly lashes out about being blamed and not being respected, with one line in particular becoming the focal point of online debate. This isn't their show. It's mine. Is it arrogance? Is it stress? Is it taken out of context? That's what the internet is arguing over. But regardless of where you stand, the reaction is instant. On TikTok, creators break down the clip line by line. Twitter threads debate whether she's unhinged or just overwhelmed. Some say it proves the nightmare to work with claims. Others say it shows how the pressure is getting to her.
The big reason why so many people are turned off by Richal Ziegler's attitude and behavior. I'm not saying that she's a mean girl in real life, but that attitude usually is something that people associate with mean girls in real life. At the same time, I also think that it's just because she's a theater kid, so the way she acts makes sense and she just needs PR training. Social media personalities have thrived on it before, but now girls are just done with it. And that could be because of the mistreatment that a lot of women have gotten in their lives from other girls. And so now growing up after going through these mistreatments from other women in our lives, we're like, no. We're done with this. It's pretty interesting because I definitely think that there's a shift towards more compassion and understanding. Again, not saying that Richal Ziegler at all was like a mean girl or anything like that.
What makes this audio different from the previous leaks is that it's not visual. There's no blurry footage to dismiss, no edited thumbnail, no director's note with allegedly biased phrasing. It's just her voice, raw, caught in a moment. And that's why Joe Rogan's reaction hits harder. Because when he hears it without any visuals to influence the perception, he calls it what he thinks it is, a full-on meltdown. The power of this leak isn't in what's seen, it's in what's heard.
Or what?
They're leaning into woke. Hardcore.
They're petrified of some kind of backlash.
And now that people are hearing it for themselves, the controversy is mutating. The story isn't just about a backstage moment anymore. It's about control, exposure, and the price of being caught without a script. But what does Rogan say exactly? And why is his take sending the internet into overdrive? Let's get into it, because his words hit like a punch.
People are mad at the big head girl. So now if you notice the spin on it, they're putting it all on her. I mean, I'm sure she sucks, but she is very young.
It's kind of sucks that a kid gets put into the position like that. You're young, and I know you have opinions about things, but this should be just about the movie.
Well,
it's just
to defend Big Head Girl, the message of the movie is to be that. That's the message that they wrote a script that's telling girls, I don't need nobody tells me I'm a 20-year-old girl, so obviously I should run my mouth all the time. That's the theme. Now,
it's not the same story?
No.
The audio finishes playing in the studio, and Joe Rogan just sits there for a second, silent, brows raised. The room, even on a podcast, feels like it freezes. And then he laughs, but it's not a full-on belly laugh. It's that tight, sharp, slightly disbelieving laugh Rogan does when he's about to drop a bomb. The kind that says, "Are you hearing what I'm hearing?" He leans into the mic and says something like, "That's the clip? That's what everyone's been trying to shut down." And immediately, he's not going to hold back. His guest, a fellow comedian, shakes his head and mutters, "Bro, that's wild." And from there, the conversation detonates. Joe dives in. He calls the outburst entitled "Unhinged," and exactly what happens when people aren't used to hearing no. He says Rachel's team trying to erase the clip just makes it worse, because now everyone wants to know what's in it. He compares it to Hollywood's obsession with image control. Actors being polished in interviews, but falling apart when they're not in control of the set. Then he gets even sharper. He says this isn't just a bad day. It's a pattern. He brings up her Snow White controversy, the red carpet attitude, the interviews that rubbed people the wrong way. He talks about how some stars start believing their own hype and forget that they're part of a team, not the center of the universe. You're not Eva Perón, he jokes. You're playing Eva Perón. And in that moment, the internet erupts. Within minutes, the segment is clipped. TikTok is flooded with videos titled "Rogan reacts to Ziegler meltdown." Some are slowed down. Some use the classic reaction format, the clip, followed by Joe's face twisting in disbelief. On Twitter, the quote, "You're not Eva Peron," starts trending. YouTube creators stitched the podcast audio with the leaked backstage rant, framing it as Rogan versus Rachel. People aren't just reacting to Ziegler anymore. They're reacting to Rogan's reaction. His words crystallize what a lot of frustrated fans have been feeling, that Rachel's rise came too fast, her attitude shifted too soon, and now the cracks are showing. Others accuse Joe of piling on, saying he's turning one emotional moment into a character assassination. But either way, he's now part of the story. This isn't the first time Joe has thrown gasoline on a celebrity fire. He's weighed in on Will Smith, Meghan Markle, Ezra Miller. But something about this hits different, maybe because the original audio leak is so raw, so intimate, and so clearly not meant for the public. The fact that Rogan plays it, comments on it, and then refuses to walk back his words gives the entire scandal new life. And fans love it, because in a world where most celebrities avoid controversy like it's radioactive, Rogan walks straight into it and lights a match. He doesn't soften it. He doesn't hide behind PR language. He says what people are already thinking. And for better or worse, that's exactly why this moment is exploding. So now the question becomes, what happens when Rachel hears this? Because if her team was upset about the clip, they're not ready for what happens next. The moment Joe Rogan's reaction hits the internet, it's like someone pulls the pin on a grenade and tosses it straight into the middle of the Evita controversy. Within hours, TikTok is flooded with clips. Some users post split-screen edits, one side showing Rachel's alleged outburst waveform, the other side showing Joe's face twisting in disbelief. Others dub dramatic music under Rogan's "You're not Eva Peron" quote. A few even add animated subtitles designed for maximum virality. The hashtag Ziegler meltdown starts trending again. Only this time, it's paired with hashtag Rogan roast. Over on Twitter, the conversation escalates fast. Influencers who hadn't touched the Rachel Ziegler situation before suddenly start weighing in, not because of the audio itself, but because Rogan reacted to it. One viral tweet says, "I wasn't even following the Ziegler drama, but if Rogan's talking about it, it's officially huge." And they're right, because Rogan's platform isn't niche. It's not Broadway. It's not even traditional Hollywood. It's global. It's messy. It's emotional. And when he reacts to something, it means the story has officially broken containment. Reddit threads light up. Fan communities debate whether Rogan's comments are valid or unnecessarily cruel. Some say he's just saying what everyone's thinking. Others accuse him of kicking someone while they're down. But no matter what side you're on, everyone agrees on one thing. This reaction is fuel. Even people who previously defended Rachel start questioning the narrative. They replay the audio. They pick apart her tone. Some try to justify it. It's a high-pressure role. Everyone cracks. But others respond with, "Yeah, but not like that." YouTube creators jump on it next. Commentary channels post full breakdowns. One video titled "Joe Rogan just ended Rachel Ziegler's career in 30 seconds" racks up 200K views in 24 hours. Another says, "This was the final nail in the coffin." It's exaggerated, sure, but it works. Even parody accounts get in on it. Memes show Rachel in an Evita costume photoshopped into Rogan's studio. One post reads, "Evita, the musical, brought to you by the Joe Rogan Experience." It's everywhere. The original leaked audio was bad. The cease and desist letters made it worse. But Joe Rogan reacting to it? That's what turns it from a scandal into a spectacle. And it's not just the internet that's feeling the heat. Because now the question is, how does Rachel and her legal team respond to this kind of backlash? Let's get into it, because what comes next might be even messier. Rachel's legal team doesn't waste time. According to sources close to the situation, her attorneys are already assessing their options again. The leaked audio alone was enough to send them into damage control mode. But Joe Rogan amplifying it to millions? That changes the game. It's no longer just about scrubbing a clip from Twitter or TikTok. Now it's about fighting a tidal wave of commentary that's snowballing faster than they can react. Insiders say her team is especially alarmed by the tone shift in the coverage. Before Rogan's podcast, much of the backlash could be contained to theater gossip, niche YouTube channels, or fan speculation. But Rogan's take gives it mainstream firepower. And now, news outlets are starting to use his reaction as a hook. Headlines like, "Joe Rogan slams Rachel Ziegler over leaked audio. Ziegler drama reignited after Rogan rant. Backstage tantrum goes viral again. this time thanks to Joe Rogan. That's what really stings. Not the original leak, but the new momentum. Behind the scenes, there's talk of issuing a second round of cease and desist letters. Not just to accounts reposting the audio, but to those amplifying it with Rogan's commentary. The legal gray area gets complicated here. The original clip might have been leaked without consent, but once it's embedded into commentary or parody content, the takedown claims get harder to justify. And that's part of what frustrates her team. They're reportedly scrambling to shift the narrative, possibly even crafting a new statement or a PR angle. Maybe a clarification, a response video, or even a controlled media interview. But at this point, the internet isn't waiting for official word. They've already chosen sides. Some are defending Rachel more passionately now, claiming she's being cyberbullied by big platforms and powerful voices. But others say her team's aggressive legal tactics are only making her look worse, like she's trying to silence criticism instead of owning her mistakes. And in the middle of it all, Joe Rogan continues, business as usual, onto his next episode. No apology, no retraction, just a few viral quotes, a laugh, and a comment about how you can't fake authenticity. Rachel's team, meanwhile, is left to clean up the fallout. But at this point, the fire's already out of the bottle. So what happens next? Let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Because this whole scandal, the footage, the audio, the reactions, might be part of something even deeper. Something cultural. Let's go there. Because the implications go way beyond Evita. This isn't just about one actress having a rough day. It's not even just about Rachel Ziegler anymore. What's happening now with the leaks, the viral reactions, the public takedowns is part of a much bigger pattern. One that's eating Hollywood alive. Because the internet isn't just watching stars anymore. It's recording them. It's reacting in real time. And it's weaponizing every misstep like never before. Think about it. Years ago, a backstage meltdown stayed backstage. A harsh word, a miscue, a bad rehearsal, that was handled quietly between professionals. But now, one phone mic, one TikTok upload, one podcast reaction, and your worst moment becomes your entire identity. Rachel Ziegler is just the latest target. Before her, it was Ezra Miller. Before that, Amber Heard. Before that, Will Smith. Different scandals, sure, but the same cycle. A moment leaks, the public reacts, and then commentary from big voices, like Joe Rogan, locks the narrative in place. What's scary is how fast it happens. Rachel's backstage tension builds over weeks. A clip leaks. It causes a stir. Legal teams respond. Then the audio leaks. Then Joe Rogan reacts. And now it's no longer a niche scandal. It's a culture war. People aren't just asking, what did she say? They're asking, is this who she really is? And that question is brutal, because in 2024, public image isn't about the work. It's about moments. And the internet has decided that Rachel Ziegler's moment is this: the tantrum, the meltdown, the quote, the clip. Is that fair? Maybe not, but it's real, and Hollywood is watching. Studios, publicists, casting agents, they all pay attention to moments like this. They know how fast a rising star can crash, not because of talent, but because of optics. And now, with the world's biggest podcaster throwing gasoline on the fire, every exec is asking the same thing. Is she worth the risk? That's the danger. Not the leaked audio, not the lawsuits, not even Joe Rogan. The real danger is how quickly this can become a career-defining narrative. And if Rachel Ziegler, one of Hollywood's youngest leads, doesn't find a way to flip that narrative soon, the internet will write the ending for her. So what happens now? Let's wrap this up, because this isn't just about a podcast segment. It's about survival in a world that never forgets. So now we've seen it all play out: the audio leak, the internet firestorm, the Rogan reaction, and the panic behind the scenes. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. This story was already spiraling, but when Joe Rogan stepped into it, he didn't just react. He redirected the entire narrative. Think about the timeline. The footage leaks. The public reacts. Rachel's team scrambles with legal letters and silence. Then the audio drops. A new layer, a new piece of evidence. Some people think it humanizes her. Others say it confirms everything. It could have gone either way. But then Joe Rogan presses play and everything tilts. Because when someone with that platform, that voice, and that influence reacts, casually, unscripted, in front of millions, it's not just commentary. It's narrative control. And suddenly, a struggling starlet scandal becomes a talking point for the entire culture. The worst part? Rachel never gets the last word. She's quiet. Her team's only making legal threats. But while she's in defense mode, Rogen's clip is everywhere. It's stitched into memes. It's turned into punchlines. It's used as proof, even if it's just an opinion. And that's what makes it so powerful. Because in the court of public opinion, the first story to hit the hardest wins. And Rogen's voice hit harder than any press release ever could. Now the big question. Where does Richal Ziegler go from here? Can she recover? Possibly. But it's not going to be easy. She'd need a strategic reset. Something bold, raw, and real. Maybe a candid interview. Maybe a full admission. Maybe even owning the moment that's being used to define her. Because right now, the silence is deafening. And every second she doesn't speak, the internet fills in the blanks. Here's what this scandal teaches us. Not just about Richal, but about celebrity culture in general. Fame is no longer a shield. A leaked clip can level you overnight. Narrative matters more than truth. Once the internet decides who you are, good luck changing its mind. And no moment is ever private again. Not on stage, not backstage, not even off mic. It's a harsh reality for the stars of today. But it's also the reason so many people are glued to this story. Because it's not just about drama anymore. It's about watching a public figure try to survive the digital gauntlet in real time. And for Richal Ziegler, the next move she makes will be the most important of her career. Will she fight back? Will she disappear? Will she reinvent herself? We don't know yet. But what we do know is this. The internet is watching. Rogen is talking. And this story isn't over. Because if there's one thing we've learned about scandals like this, it's that there's always one more leak, one more twist, one more reaction waiting to blow it all open again. So if you want to be the first to see what happens next, subscribe, hit the bell, and get ready. Because in this story, the loudest moment might still be coming.